We fought for your country. Unlike the angry Japanese man, President Go answered calmly. I am curious about one thing. President Matsumoto slowly sat down because President Go's calmness helped him feel better. President Go waited and then said, even though Japan likes to be noticed by the world, you let us do the most important part of the attack, bringing down the queen. That was because Korea didn't have enough strength to keep the army of ants busy. Yes, but wouldn't it have been smarter to have Korea be one of the 4 groups to delay the ants and send your best team to destroy the queen? That was a good point. President Matsumoto looked away. What are you trying to say, President Go? For some reason he said President Go's full name. Did your hunters leave because of that huge ant? Or were you already planning to leave? You're wrong. No. You are. You were planning this all along. What were you hoping to do, after leaving our hunters in danger? President Go asked, his eyes narrowing. President Matsumoto began to laugh loudly. Ha ha ha. After a moment, he took a recorder from his pocket and shook his head. Everything you just said was recorded. You blamed the Japanese hunters without proof and didn't keep your promise to pay them. He had a sneaky smile. He said he would let people from all over the world decide who was right. The recording would help hide the fact that the Japanese hunters had left during the task. This could really change what people think. President Go made a big error by making this quick accusation. President Matsumoto wondered if President Go would become very angry, and maybe even fight. That would be even worse. Also, the sound recording had already been sent to a computer in the main office back in Japan. But do you have proof? I have proof. President Go took out a small black cube from his jacket pocket. Hunter-san found this where everything happened and gave it to me. President Matsumoto looked worried, realizing something wasn't right. What is that thing? President Go smiled at President Matsumoto's confused face. This is a black box from a communication machine. I learned that Hunter Goda's team had used it. President Matsumoto's face turned red quickly. Without stopping, President Go took out a small music player and started the recording. Click. How long ago did the Korean team enter? Just a moment. It has been less than 10 minutes. 10 minutes. It is time to start moving back. The voice of Ryuji Goto, a very famous man in Japan, was easy to hear. President Go stopped the recording. Do you know why I haven't told everyone about this? President Shigeo Matsumoto of the Hunters Association of Japan. President Matsumoto slowly shook his head. His face had changed from red to very pale. It was because I wanted the people of Korea to be happy about our win and not spoil it with this bad news. I waited for my people, not yours. The recorder slipped from President Matsumoto's hand. President Go went on. I'm sure you know what I will say next. President Matsumoto. President Go squeezed the audio player in his hand, until it broke into many pieces. Leave my office right now. After Jin Woo left, the assistant director stayed in the room with Norma. Selner, what happened? Michael had met many hunters, and this wasn't his first time hunting with Norma, but he had never seen anything like this before. Norma took deep breaths, and could hardly speak. He is a king. And a very strong king too. Michael's eyes got big. Only 3 people knew exactly how Norma's power worked: the director, the assistant director, and Norma herself. And now she was saying that Jin Woo-sung was a king. Michael's heart started beating fast again. Then are you saying he is as strong as a top hunter in the country? Norma shook her head. I'm not sure, because this feels different. He is a king, but he isn't quite like the others. What? Could you explain that in a simpler way? When I looked into his eyes, it felt like he was looking right back into my soul. But that's what other hunters do. No, not Hunter-sung. There was a huge darkness inside him, and it was staring back at me. Norma shouted at Michael, shaking and looking very pale. It was a response to the natural fear all living creatures feel when they are in danger. But that didn't matter at the moment. As her body trembled with fear, she struggled to say the most important thing she knew about Jin Woo. Also, he is Norma had Michael listening carefully. She opened her mouth with some effort. Endless. President Shigeo Matsumoto fell to his knees. The leader of all the hunters in Japan was now on the floor. Many thoughts rushed through his mind. He really tried to think of another way, but he couldn't. There was no time to worry about pride, or doing what was right. If the truth came out, he would lose more than just his job. President Go, please forgive me. President Go looked at him with a cold, hard stare. President Matsumoto had been acting very confident, until things changed, and he was in trouble. President Go could not continue to be friendly to the man. "Please stand up," he said. President Go told him to stop apologizing, but the man kept hitting his head on the floor. Bang! Bang! Japan has lost many of its strongest hunters, so they really need help from other countries now. Even though Japan had a good system for training hunters, losing so many of their top hunters meant the future was uncertain for them. The hunters they already had were strong enough for most dangerous areas, but no one knew what would happen if an extremely powerful gate opened. Something similar had happened in Jeju Island, and it could happen in Japan too. If the video of that event became public, people would be very afraid and distrustful. "Please, President Go, think of the people in Japan, and please forgive me. This is your punishment," President Go said firmly. "This is punishment for what you and your hunters were planning to do." It was like a bomb that could explode at any time. That was President Go's punishment. President Matsumoto kept bowing his head to the floor. "President Go, I won't get up until you forgive me. Please think about it again. Then I don't have another option." President Go looked upset and took out his phone. "You have 5 minutes. What did that mean?" He looked at President Go, curious about what he was doing. The Korean president waved his phone. "If you don't leave in 5 minutes, I will send a text message to every reporter on this list saying that the president of the Hunters Association of Japan is asking me for forgiveness." If President Matsumoto was trying to delay things because he was scared, then President Go was prepared to reveal this information immediately. This was mostly a caution to the Japanese man, not a real threat, but he hesitated. President Go was a very firm person who wouldn't change his mind, just because someone asked nicely. President Matsumoto had learned this too late. He had put aside his own feelings to try one last thing, but it didn't work out as planned. As he struggled to stand, President Go put down his phone. "You should be grateful to Hunter Sung." President Go's angry look was frightening. "If our team had been harmed, because of your choices instead of that giant ant, you wouldn't have left this room." President Matsumoto quickly gathered his belongings and ran from the building, without looking back. He didn't seem as sure of himself as he had on his last trip to Korea. President Go relaxed on the couch. He felt very pleased. But he wasn't finished yet. It was true that he controlled what happened with the Hunters Association of Japan. We all need to take responsibility for our mistakes. He had always believed in the idea that if you do something bad will happen to you. Just then, the phone rang loudly. President Go answered, and a worried voice spoke to him. He looked surprised when he heard the news. What a gate right in the middle of the road to make things worse. It was a strong gate. Harder than most hunter teams could manage. Where is it? It would be best to call one of the large hunter groups and ask them to send help. But, wait a moment. President Go looked thoughtful. Wasn't Hunter Sung's team office close by? Traffic was starting to pile up on the road. Jinwoo sat inside a parked car, thinking hard. That woman, Norma Selner, had noticed something strange about him. She had worked with many strong hunters before, but something about Jinwoo really surprised her. What had she seen? Was it a hint of the special system that helped him? The system sometimes gave difficult jobs, but it wasn't scary. It actually helped me a lot. I wondered what other people would think about it. The assistant director asked if he could talk to Jinwoo later, but Norma looked very upset by Michael's suggestion. She clearly showed with her body language that she did not want to see Jinwoo again. Also, Jinwoo began to think his power wouldn't work on him because he was very different from other hunters. There was no reason to spend any more time on it. That is why he nicely said no to Michael's request. Jinwoo would always remember the surprised look on his face. What was causing all this traffic? Jinwoo frowned at the many cars in front of him. He thought it was better to take the subway. He wondered if something had happened when his phone vibrated. He had plugged it in to charge earlier. Jinwoo looked at the phone to see who was calling. It was President Go. He had just seen the president a few hours ago at the funeral, so he wondered why he was calling now. Jinwoo answered the phone. Hunter Sung. "This is Gun-hee Go," the president said. He explained what was happening in the middle of Seoul. "Excuse me?" Jinwoo asked, surprised. A gate suddenly appeared in the middle of the road. That explained things. He had thought the traffic was strange. He tried to turn the van around, but cars were packed tightly in front and behind him. He couldn't move at all. Jinwoo looked ahead, trying to stay calm. Then President Go spoke, and it was enough to make him forget about the traffic. Our team believes it is a B-rank gate. Would you like to take care of it? Jinwoo almost laughed. It wasn't good to seem happy about something that was causing trouble for so many people. He cleared his throat. But can I go into the gate without a special permission? Huh? Hunter sung. Where do you get permission for a raid? From the Hunter Association. And who am I? Jinwoo tried not to laugh. You are the leader of that association. Haha. Don't worry about it. You can come in whenever you want. Awesome. I mean, thank you. Jinwoo smiled a lot. He left the van and walked toward the gate, following the magical energy he felt. He didn't need to find a parking space because the road was completely full of cars. Yes, the dark opening you see is a gate that showed up today in the middle of. We just learned this is a medium-level gate. Because of its importance, a group of skilled workers needed to be called. Reporters were already gathered around the special doorway. The police were helping workers from the organization keep people away from the area. As Jinwoo walked past the crowd of reporters and got closer to the gate, a serious-looking worker stepped in front of him. Wait a minute. What are you doing? The worker from the organization put her hand on his chest to gently push him back. You can't just come in here. But no matter how hard she pushed with her hands, Jinwoo didn't move. She finally understood he was a hunter, and a very strong one. Are you a hunter? Jinwoo showed her his identification card. Her eyes widened in surprise. An S rank. Was this Jinwoo Sung? That meant this man was the hunter who had fought so well against the monster ants on Jeju Island. She finally realized who he was. Even though she worked for the association, she hadn't recognized him because he looked different than on television. But with so many people gathered, some quickly understood what was happening. What's going on? Is that? It's Jinwoo Sung. Jinwoo Sung is here to deal with the gate himself. The people who had been upset were now happy to see him. Being on time for things wasn't what anyone was thinking about, as they all shouted encouragement to Jinwoo. Even with the crowd's excited response though, the association representative didn't change her mind. She paused for a moment before questioning Jinwoo. What are you doing here? Did she really need to ask? A hunter stood at the gate for one clear reason. Jinwoo pointed to the gate behind the woman to show what he meant. The woman quickly glanced back, then seemed more determined. Many hunters had died because they didn't follow the rules or trust their own abilities too much. Even the strongest hunters could make mistakes. She had learned that the association was there to help prevent accidents like these. Keeping hunters safe was the most important thing to the group. Because of this, she couldn't let a strong hunter like him get injured, so she spoke with confidence. Even though you are a very skilled hunter, I cannot allow you to break the rules. Jinwoo was surprised and didn't know what to say as he looked at her. He wasn't expecting her response. She started to believe she was finally reaching Jinwoo. Do you have permission to enter the raid? Jinwoo shook his head. No. Even if you did, she said, I can't let you go into the gate without enough people in your group. She was firm, but Jinwoo didn't think she was being mean. She always followed the rules exactly. Jinwoo rubbed his head. He didn't see any other option. Please give me a moment. Jinwoo quickly called someone. When the call went through, he gave the phone to the other person. Here. The woman looked at the phone. Please. This call is for you. The person from the group looked at Jinwoo with suspicion. Who is it? Someone you probably wouldn't want to talk to. She took the phone and her eyes grew wide when she saw who was calling. Was it really Gun-hee Go? Hello? She said nervously into the phone. A deep voice answered. This is President Go. And it really was him. She didn't know where to look and kept nodding her head. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. No, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I will do that, sir. Click. She gave the phone back to Jinwoo looking sad. As he walked by her, Jinwoo spoke quietly. Thank you. What did you say? For being concerned about me. You were just joking with me. Jinwoo quickly went through the gate. The association representative was very angry, and wished bad things would happen to Jinwoo. Please, she thought. I hope he falls and hurts his ankle in the dungeon. But Jinwoo Sung had come back from Jeju Island safely, even though it was full of very powerful magical creatures. What could possibly happen to him in a less dangerous dungeon? Just then screams echoed from all around. What's happening? Why is the gate turning red? The black gate turned bright red after Jinwoo went inside. It was a red gate. Just the name made people feel scared. Oh no. The woman working there got really worried when she saw it. Was it her fault? She knew it probably wasn't, but she still felt bad. She worked for an organization that knew red gates were risky places leading to strange worlds. She also knew even the strongest hunters weren't always safe. Oh no. Her face turned pale as she thought about what could happen. If he got hurt, how long had it been? She kept blaming herself, then looked up, because she felt someone close by. It was Jinwoo standing in front of her. Oh my. She said, surprised like she'd seen a ghost. Jinwoo smiled as he walked past. The representative's face was even redder now than before. She talked with President Go. Jinwoo looked around and then walked to the driver of a truck full of potatoes. Sir, could you sell me a bag? Excuse me. A bag of potatoes. Jinwoo shook his head. Just the bag, please. Jinyo Yu, who was in charge of bringing in new members, handling legal matters, and managing money for the guild called Solo Play, happily greeted Jinwoo when he came into the office.
Welcome back?
Boss? Is anything new happening? No, boss. Also, one of the people applying to be a first member said something interesting. Oh yes, please show me the list. I want to look at it too. Jinyo really wanted to start this group, and it was good, because Jinwoo felt the same way. It seemed like things were finally moving forward. They needed one more person to join their team so they could start a guild. Guilds need at least 3 members to begin. Even though this person would just be helping to reach that number, it would be good if they were someone who worked hard, because they would be spending a lot of time together. Jinwoo was thinking about this when he noticed Jinyo looked a little sad. What's wrong? He asked. Well, Boss, Jinyo began. Yes, Jinwoo replied. As you know, starting a guild costs a lot of money. Important dungeons sell for a lot of money at auctions, and we will have to pay extra money to hire a hunter, especially this one. Jinwoo stopped him and asked, will this be enough? Thud. Jinwoo dropped a bag onto the floor. What was that? Jinwoo looked curiously inside the bag. The room was filled with valuable stones. Boss, what is all this? Jinwoo answered calmly. I found a special place on my way here. He had been gone from the office for only a few hours, but in that time he explored a difficult and dangerous area, and collected these stones. You are amazing. Boss. Jinwoo was very impressed and didn't ask any more questions. It wasn't worth trying to reason with this man. Jinwoo was happy to see Jinyo excited about everything they had gotten. He then glanced toward the conference room.
What is she doing here?
Oh, I was gonna tell you we have someone waiting to meet with you. Boss. Jinwoo's eyes got bigger. Someone wants a job. Yes, sir. Who is it? The person in the meeting room, sir. Did she say she was here for the job herself? Yes, sir. But that didn't seem right. Jinwoo walked over and opened the door to the meeting room. The woman inside had been quietly drinking a canned coffee that Jinyo had quickly gone to the store to buy, because the office didn't have any. She turned to face him. What are you doing here? Jinwoo was very surprised. I looked up at him calmly. Well, I wanted to join the guild. Did he hear her correctly? Maybe his ears were playing tricks on him. I am Tra, the second in command of the best hunter group in Korea, and one of the strongest hunters in the country, wanted to join a guild that was just starting out. Jinwoo thought someone must be making Haemin do this. But who could possibly tell Haemin Chen what to do? There was only one person in Korea with that much power. Did the leader of the association ask you to do this? Haemin looked confused when Jinwoo mentioned President Go. Why would he? Jinwoo was puzzled. And Haemin seemed even more so. Okay, I need to calm down, Jinwoo thought. This was surprising and strange, but she quietly pulled up a chair and sat across from Haemin. He watched her quietly for a moment, thinking carefully. Everything seemed to slow down as he remembered everything he knew about Haein. She seemed upset. He could tell by her heartbeat, her breathing and her eyes. Haein was trying not to show it, but Jinwoo noticed everything. But he still didn't understand why she wanted to join the Solo Play Guild, which didn't have a final name yet. Don't you still have a contract with the Hunters Guild? Jinwoo asked. Usually, contracts between guilds and hunters lasted for 5 years. Hun was a very skilled hunter, ranked as class. She had joined the Hunters Guild 2 years ago. This meant she still had at least 3 years left on her agreement. If she had signed up for the shortest time of 5 years, She said she could pay a fee if she wanted to leave early. Jinwoo looked surprised at how easily she said this. If someone broke an agreement, they had to pay back 2 or 3 times the amount they originally received as a bonus. Since the Hunters Guild likely paid a lot to hire a powerful hunter like her, the penalty would be a very large sum of money. Jinwoo began to act more serious and focused on the business at hand. The Solo Play Guild doesn't have enough money to give a signing bonus to someone as skilled as you. Hunter chat. Is the guild's name really Solo Play? That's the name the vice president and I decided on. Do you not like it? No, not at all. Haein sighed quietly before continuing to speak. I don't mind. I'm okay with not getting extra money when I start a new job. Was she willing to pay a lot of money to leave her current team and agree to a new contract without any extra starting money? What was she planning? Jinwoo looked closely at her. They looked at each other for a moment, but Haein had to look away.